Hello and welcome to another episode of the LTA Report. We got a pretty special one today, a lot that's going around. Before that, we have a Discord. If you guys want to join, we'll leave that in the description. We'll put a link. But yeah, that's where you put in all your questions. If you sometimes we talk about the games while we're in there. We should probably add some more channels as well for like live games and stuff like that. We also will be streaming on TikTok starting next week, hopefully. So wherever you want to watch. The VOD will always be on YouTube, but yeah, we're trying to branch out as well. But with that out of the way, yeah, let's just get right into it. We had some very interesting games. I think both series were 3-1. One pretty expected result, one not so expected result. We'll just start off with the DSG Dig series. Or actually, the other one, the Lion 100T. Yeah, let's start off with that one. 100T had a bit of a glow up. It was a little bit surprising. I know all the pro players were like, yeah, we think 100 Thieves are going to win because they're doing better in scrims. But like scrims have never really mattered to 100 Thieves. Like sometimes they were absolutely horrible in scrims and they making it all the way to the finals of LTA. And then sometimes they're just like, hey, we're doing well in scrims. And then they're just like going 0-6. And it's like, well, what's going on here? So yeah, I didn't have much faith in 100 Thieves. I will be honest. I thought that like the fact that they were saying they didn't have faith in Golden Glue, it just seemed like things were crumbling. Apparently, with Dokla coming back in, they figured stuff out. They are meshing much better. We saw Quid play champions that he's known for. He played 3 melee champions. Played Galio, Akali, and I don't remember the third melee, but he played another melee champion in his
Yone, I
matchup.
believe.
Yes, he played the Yone. They first picked Yone. So yeah, he's like playing more confident. River is still River. I thought he was always good. I know he like throws sometimes, but it's hard when your team kind of sucks. Like yeah, you're obviously gonna throw. They were playing against a good team. This wasn't like DSG, which we'll talk about later. They played against a good team. Lion is a good team. And yeah, they just kind of were able to outdraft them, out macro them, outfight them, out like the early games were rough. Lion was figuring out how to win the game, and then sure, game one they kind of threw. I won't even give 100T like too much credit for that because it was like 95%, Lion. But then game two and game four, like definitely, they were finding their moments. They were much more particular about which fights they fight, and the fights that they did take, they just won them. They outhands Lion, outperformed them, and it's if you're a 100 Thieves fan, it's nice to see. I know David. I watched his rendezvous, and he was very happy, and he was like, "We can do this against Team Liquid." I'm like, "No, you can't." But we'll get to that later. I just think that I mean, as a League of Legends fan, as a LCS fan, I don't want to see 100 Thieves play anymore. I like. It's nice that they're glowing up. It's nice. I want to see Golden Glue succeed. I just don't want to see this 100 Thieves play anymore. I just want them to get 0-3'd and just get out. Like from the beginning of the year, I've been done with them, and I'm just ready to be done with them. But as for the actual roster, which I have to like kind of separate in my mind, okay, there's the 100 Thieves org, and then there's the roster. The roster, I'm happy for how they're playing. I want them to do well. Specifically, honestly, Golden Glue. He's really the one that I want to see do well. I don't have too much care for a lot of the players. But how have you seen their gameplay, and what do you think about what we saw from them this weekend?
I think it was a combination of they look like human beings and they're going up against in my opinion, not a very good team. I know Lion is starting to get more respect, and I do think next year they will have a lot more going for them. I think this year's been a complete wash with their visa issues and the team not really meshing and having to like change their roster consistently. I think they'll find a better footing next year, depending on like what the pieces. I think like Audi and Lions, they were up and down. Like even in that series, you thought like they had chances to like, make things happen, then it just looked really like rough. 400 Thieves, do I think they're back? No. Do I think does it at least make it a little bit more competitive against TL? Absolutely, because I don't think TL's particularly firing at all cylinders either. And I think like that's what you kind of was hoping for. You don't want this kind of you want the lower bracket to feel like a gauntlet. Kind of what you're getting in VCT at the moment. Like each team is as skilled as the other, but it feels like an LTA is kind of there is definitely a hierarchy. And I think fortunately for 100 Thieves, they're facing one of the teams that I don't think they had a lot going for them. This were like they look better, but I like to me there wasn't enough. I know people like do respect Lion though, and they feel like they actually are a pretty decent team, but like you was alluding to, like scrims doesn't really account for like what do you do on stage.
I mean, if you watch the first 20 minutes of the Lion versus 100 Thieves, you'd be like, oh, that's going to be a stomp. It's going to be a 3-0 stomp. Like, Lion completely controlled every single fight. And then they had one fight where Lion, like, by the way, Audi was playing incredible. Like, this guy was playing in Worlds form, like we saw of him in play-ins last year when they beat 100 Thieves. He was playing so well. The one time he engages instead of playing Peel, and Zinzao, like, you have your E, you hit your W, you're like, I gotta go in, you know? The one fight he doesn't, his entire team just gets completely wiped. I don't know what was wrong with Henna. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, everybody's talking about how great Saint and Henna were, how great Saint and Henna were. Like, Saint was going toe to toe with Quid. I know Quid was popping off, but he was going toe to toe with Quid. Henna just like threw games left and right. Didn't use flash. Didn't like dodge. He was just actively playing bad. He was playing bad League of Legends. He was the worst player in the lobby. Yeah. You can't have that from your superstar Korean import AD carry. You just can't. He had one bad series. I don't think I've seen a single bad series from Henna. This was the only bad series he played. Who knows? Maybe he plays well. They still lose, but like, I mean, your AD carry not using flash. Like, what are you, double lift? Like, you can't do that.
Yeah, I think it's like now 400 Thieves looking forward. What have you kind of got going for you against Team Liquid? I think the hope is that you can abuse top lane like everyone has been doing this split. Impact still does look great.
Impact gave it to Fudge to Bwipo. Impact. He played the carries. He was like, you know what? I'm just gonna play what I know. Like Rumble used to be my pocket pick.
But Bwipo's style can make you look like a half decent player. Like just like from him, absolutely turbo sprint. Like, the guy was playing freaking Singe. Like I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, I am looking forward. Like the orgs are going back and forth on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen like 100 Thieves and TL. Have you not seen? So like 100 Thieves was tweeting that even one of the teams like they're going back and forth about like which general they had, and then like TL ended it with like I'll have to get it up because I really don't want to watch it, but it's basically like free sniper is what they were like kind of alluding to at the end.
That's funny, free sniper. Yeah, I mean, when we do our matchups previews, we can talk more about like the actual head-to-head and like our predictions. But I think Impact has been playing a lot better than he did in the beginning of the year or in the beginning of the split as well. And I think maybe we don't really recognize it.
That wasn't hard. He was playing like
I know, but like we don't have to stop pretending. We have to stop pretending like he's still inting. Like he's like not inting now. Sure, he's not carrying, but he's not inting, which was a big problem.
Do we want to go like into that match, or do we want to go to Dig?
I want to talk about Dignitas. But I do want to say one more thing about 100 Thieves. I understand the synergy between FBI and like Dokla. I didn't think Dokla played well. I still don't think Dokla is an upgrade to Sniper in like the 1-to-1. I think Sniper was playing bad. I think maybe Dokla's playing a little bit better. I'll take that back. Dokla's playing like a little bit better. I think maybe it's like a vibes thing or something. I still very strongly do not like what they did to Sniper. Like this is one you can't like your coach becoming your player, like taking your spot. I will continue to say, even if this works out, I still find it very scummy what they did.
And
I disapprove of it.
And then he even said in an was it even an interview on Twitter? He's like, I could have chosen Lion. Like
yeah, he said that.
So was you lying then, or was 100 Thieves lying when they said they're bringing in Dokla as a coach?
I mean, maybe the options were coaching on 100 Thieves or playing on Lion, or maybe even coaching on Lion. Like. Who knows, right? He didn't elaborate, but I saw the tweet. But like, yeah, I am not very happy with the whole situation. No hate to Dokla. Just I'm not happy with the situation. And, you know, maybe the team came to him and be like, hey, we want you to play. And he was like, okay. Like from no input. But yeah, as a coach, you just don't do that. As a coach, you just don't do that. Like I remember when Power of Evil joined TSM because Bjergsen moved to coaching. He had in his contract, he was like, "Look, I'm not gonna have this thing. Like if I don't play well, or if something happens and Bjergsen wants to play, he can take my spot. He's more popular, he has more pull." So they put in his contract that Bjergsen could not take your spot. So like, do we have to go back to those days, or it's like, oh, if you're bringing me a positional coach, you have to put it in my contract that my positional coach can't take my spot, or else I'm not going to trust the coach. Like, I just think it opens a can of worms that really you should not be introducing in, and maybe one day we'll get more details on what happened. It seems like there was, like, I think this is public now, but like there are some players that weren't happy with Sniper and wanted Sniper benched, and maybe that's what instigated it. And you're like, well, we already have a coach, maybe he can play, but yeah.
I just don't want to see.
We can move on to.
I was just like,
I know. I just don't.
I like. Sorry to David. Like, good dude. Like, I respect your anti-fandom. I'm done with this team. Like, I'm done with these players. I'm done with this org, done with the owner. Like, this guy never tweets League of Legends, but he tweets about his Valorant team and the other teams. Like,
I saw your tweet about that. Yeah.
He deserves it and like more. Like, it was so satisfying getting to knock him out of VCT.
Yeah, I just want this team gone, and who knows? Maybe the team that comes in next is going to be even worse. But like, I don't trust Riot to do his due diligence. I'll be honest, but I don't want a team that's be like, yeah, don't be fans of us, go be fans of Cloud9. Like that's just yeah.
As long as it's not TSM. I can't be going.
As long as it's not TSM.
I can't be going through the rivalry again.
I don't think Riot wants TSM. I'll be honest. I don't think
Riot.
I don't think TSM could even be in Riot. Yeah, I mean they want it out anyways. So, I do want to talk about Dignitas in our Dig and Lion farewell or eulogy, as I would put it. Good riddance. I saw a tweet. I think it was it Shonatonin? I don't know who tweeted this out. Maybe it was Mazel? No, it probably wasn't him. Anyways, one of like the tier 2 / LPL crew tweeted out like DSG is not the one that should be playing relegations in a month. Like the wrong team has to play relegations, and I completely agree. Like Dig should be out. This team has a history. I'm gonna pull up the tweet. This is like a historic tweet, actually, by so many different people in the industry, like people who worked on Dignitas, people who left Dig, people who wanted to like play Dig, to work with Dig, people who work with players. Like, I think Peter Dunn at least spoke about this. Dignitas, as general management, has, in many different cases, just done very, very, very egregiously horrendous decisions. I don't understand it. I don't know why they would do it. Like, even if there was like an insane amount of nepotism, like why bring in Photon? Why throw away Tomo twice? Like, there are 2 times where you just benched Tomo when he was actually a good player. Like, the amount of times that they make decisions that make no sense, the amount of times that they burn bridges with their players, the amount of times that they just do things that don't even put them in contention for Worlds. Like last year, when they got rid of 4 out of 5 of their players, after telling the players, like, oh, you're safe, and then like cutting him, and then telling the next one, no, you guys are our core. Literally, XU was saying they had a group chat with the GM and the players, and basically they got rid of Tomo, and it was the other 3 players. They got rid of Rich and Dove, and it was Tomo, XU, and Isles, and they were in a group chat, and the group chat was with the GM, Bakery, and they were like, he was telling them, you guys are safe. The other 2, we're going to find like better players. We're going to bring in Jensen and Licorice. And then all of a sudden, they kick Tomo out of that group chat. And they're like, we're bringing in Sven, but don't worry, you 2 are safe. And then they kick XU out of that group chat. It's like, what the hell? You're just completely and entirely lying to your team and just like doing whatever. Like, no care for the players, no care for what actually works for the organization. Last year, you could be like, oh, it's to make the team more popular and maybe push for Worlds. It's, it's in Europe. Like, maybe it could be a better showing for North America, like whatever reasons you can think of. You can't even make it for the Photon change. Like, this Photon change makes 0 sense. You bring in Rigby, you bring in Lyra, who are supposed to be very smart in the game, about the game. You bring in a couple rookies I mean, I know Shaden technically isn't a full rookie. Shaden, and you talk so much about how Surdy was the person you wanted, how Surdy was handpicked by you, how the entire offseason of Dignitas was revolving around bringing Surdy onto the table, and then you bring Surdy onto the table, and then you get rid of him half a year in, and then you don't even comment, and it's the number of times you made this decision are incredibly it's just ludicrous. Yes, it was Leota who started it, and he actually posted a tweet of like just an image of all of the Dignitas changes that have been made since they came back. And he said that Dig have made so many hilarious management mistakes, recruiting players, preservations, they brought in a Korean coach who isn't going to fix their issues. And he talks about like, what is this org? Is it an org that's supposed to have a lot of veterans? Well, guess what? They tried the veteran route. They couldn't win. Is it an org that's supposed to have these misfits that other teams don't want? They tried that. They failed. Is it an org that's supposed to be like rookie? Like it doesn't work. He's like, okay, what next? Everything you do, everything you touch, just like fails. And so Peter Dunn responded and he said, it's worse than that. Most orgs, they have a trajectory when they come in fresh with nothing to build from, right? They're like DSG, they came in with nothing and they slowly built up. Dig came from Clutch, who were at Worlds the previous year. They chose to scrap everything, and they completely and entirely failed ever since that they came back in. Not just that, the people that were on there actually left. I think it was ThinkCard who would go on to win. ThinkCard actually responded, and he said the Dig offseason, when they were purchased by Dig, Clutch was purchased by Dig, was the worst offseason he's ever experienced. This guy's been in the scene for like 10 years now. Worst offseason. Legit. Our coaching staff worked every day putting together stats and presentations for many different roster iterations. Like they're doing the scouting, they're bringing the different rosters. They're like, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is how it can work. And then they got completely ignored. Every single week they would go to management. Management would completely ignore them to the point that Artemis and Empire, I wonder where I heard those two names. They left, went to EG, one on EG, left EG, went to FlyQuest, one on FlyQuest. Like these are winning players. ThinkCard left, went to NRG, won. Then he went to Brazil. He's winning there. Like, you had generational coaching talent and scouts. You threw all of that away for what? For mediocre. Not even mediocre. For failure after failure after failure. So yeah, good riddance. I'm glad they lost.
You think they are? I think that general sentiment is people are expecting them to be kind of done, but I think people should really temper their expectations on that. Unless Riot are buying them out, I don't see them selling that slot anytime soon.
I don't think they're leaving, yeah.
No, exactly. I think people really need to not be on board. Like, oh, Dig are going to be one of the teams that are gone. They're not. Just because they keep, like, Immortals for so long, people go crying, when's this team going to leave? And they're sitting there with, like, YouTube videos that had 100 views. Like, literally worse than what we've been doing on our videos. Like
1 minute ads, not even videos. Yeah, like 1 minute progressive ads. Yeah.
And I know I'm sounding like an armchair analyst. I don't think it's that difficult to be at least the middle of the table in North America. I generally you start off with someone that knows their shit. You get the foundations, like your coach, and then they had people in places at times, like throughout different iterations, like you just mentioned, that could have propelled them into I'm not expecting. It'd be unfair to expect them to be competing at the very top, right? But at least you want to establish a solid foundation where Dig can be the gatekeepers per se, and be what they could have been is a developmental team for the big teams. So if you want a decent start to your career, go to Dig. Obviously, no. I would advise any player looking to get in tier 1. I would go to tier 2, even though that place is a mess before you go into Dignitas.
I mean that's kind of what Leota was saying. Is this team what are you building? This is the question, and this is what Peter Dunn references to. What are you building? Are you building an organization? Are you building a project? Right? They scrap their projects so often. Okay, let's just say going into 2025, the project is, hey, we're going to bring in a bunch of rookies, right? We're going to bring in some firepower in Kaney. We saw him last year. We liked him. We're going to bring in some firepower, some rookies. We're going to bring back Tomo because we liked working with him. It's a mixture of not necessarily veterans, but some seasoned player with some rookies. And we're going to build something. We're going to bring 2 extremely smart players. I actually talked to Kaney. The interview isn't out yet. But I actually told him, look, we hear a lot of really good things about Rigby, but I'm going to be honest. We did not see any improvement from this Dignitas team. We actually saw you guys regress week after week after week. You guys just started playing worse. And I just want to ask, how is the coaching environment? And he said, the thing about Rigby and Lyra, they're really smart about the game. they also like are trying to get us to play at like a level right here, and we're like right here. So like every time they're like, okay, this is what you need to do, they're like talking about like what we ideally need to do. We're just so bad that we're not even there yet.
Yeah.
Which is maybe expectations. Maybe you need a coach who's like working on the fundament, whatever it is, right? At the end of the day, you're not building to something. If the project is, hey, we want to like work on North American rookies and build up, Shaded and Tomo and Isles and Surdy and like just have a little bit of firepower in our mid lane, but we can't find like yes, North America's mid laners. I mean, Darkwing's kind of beat him, so whatever. You stick to that. You can't just give up 6 months in. Like, give them 2 years. Don't change the project on them like 6 months in. Be like, oh, now we have to make worlds. What can we do? Let's bring in Photon. Like, what is this? What does it even matter? I just don't understand what you're building. Every single split, you're changing your foundation, your like goals.
Mm-hmm.
Build something. Even if you fail, at least you try to do something. Like what Shopify is doing. I mean, I know I'm biased because I'm a Shopify fan, but like we put a 2-year project. We didn't just like randomly halfway through the year bench Fudge, or else he wouldn't have had his resurgence. We didn't just randomly get rid of Power Fox, or else he wouldn't like beat Cloud. Like we didn't just randomly start doing things. We brought in more coaching staff. We brought in a sports psychologist. We're adding to our team. We have a direction, and we're working towards that direction. But you can't just like not do that and then expect something like anything different than everybody hating you. Because you're burning bridges with the players, you're burning bridges with your fans, your own like diehard fans. Like if you think I'm diehard for Shopify, there was a diehard fan who's way more into Dignitas than I was for Shopify, and he left. He's like, "What the hell is this org? I can't support this team." Every reason they give us to support, they just get rid of it. So like, I just you need to build something, even if it's like, hey, like you said, we're gonna bring in rookies, we're gonna teach them how to play the game, we're gonna sell them off. Might not be for a lot of money because like ecosystem, it'll be for some money. Hey, we'll be profitable. That'll be our brand. Sure. Hey, we're a 3-year project. We're probably not like a 2-year.
Does this? Like every sport does this.
Yeah.
Every sport will have that one team that is always decent, but they will never surpass to the top teams because they will always get picked off by the top teams, like in terms of like selling their players. But that's okay. Not every team has to be the creme de la creme, and not everyone has like. If you had the finances to, you wouldn't be signing these young players to develop. You'd be getting in high quality players. But they're not doing anything. They're just throwing whatever the wall hopes it sticks, and nothing is sticking. It's all falling on the floor flat.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't want to do that, if you want to just bring in like a bunch of misfits, kind of like what they did with last year, just stick with that project. Like you could try to do what Golden Guardians did, where they brought a bunch of players that people gave up on and sticks like not that the first project, but not the second project, the first one, where they brought in Demonte, they brought in Closer, they imported Closer, and they brought in what's it called? I think it was Hanser in the top lane, and then they had FBI and Huhi, right? And then 100 Thieves are like, that's a really good project. Maybe you could just pick them up, and like they got paid. Just do something. Just don't do what you're doing. Just have a goal and stick with it. Stop being like flip flopping.
And you're not going to trust them going into next year either. Like, and I
I didn't trust them going into this year.
And the thing is, I think next year there is going to be some decent pieces on the market, and I don't think they'll pick up any of them because who doesn't want to go to Dig at this point? Because
if you're Quid, do you think you want to go to Dig?
Like, but you've seen the two different like iterations of you have top players that went there. Like your speakers, Sven, Jensen, and then they had like your like middle to pack to bottom feeders who have been treated poorly. So like you kind of burned your bridges in every single like department in the LTA.
Yeah, I don't think Riot will get rid of them. At least get rid of the management. Like, please just start doing something better. Like, start building the trust with your fans, with your players. Do something right for once. Because everything you've been doing, every time you promise something, you don't deliver on that promise. You go back. It's not that you like fail. No, you go back against your word. If your word means nothing, then no one's going to trust you. So that's like my plea to Dignitas. Like,
if I was them, I would gut the entire project, gut the entire management, and somehow convince Sergi to come back, and actually this time say, no, we are fully behind this guy, and we're going to get management and players that are going to suit this player that we should have believed in the first time, but now we're making events for it.
I mean, I'll tell you what I would do if I was hypothetically if I was Dignitas like owner or like maybe not owner, maybe like president of their League of Legends team or their esports team or whatever, right? I would get a new management. I would try to see if I could get Yamato to be like a positional coach or like not a remote coach, kind of like what Dom is doing for C9, because Yamato has expressed interest in doing something like that. But regardless, I would actually bring in Golden Glue. I would try to pick up Golden Glue, and I would try to run a project with two young like rookies, one stable like seasoned player, and a couple veterans. That's the project I would go for, and it would be a 2 year project. I mean, try to run it that way.
I would
Um,
pick up the bot lane. I'd pick up the 100 Thieves bot lane because I don't think they're getting spots anywhere near the top. So I think that's actually a viable option for them next year, is to get the 100 Thieves bot lane straight up.
yeah, I mean, I wasn't really thinking of players. I was thinking more of like organizational. I would just try to like give them a project that they can work on and give them 2 years to work on that project and make sure if I'm going to have rookies, Golden Glue is the guy I want because we've seen him
Mm-hmm.
like successfully work with rookies. I would also interview him and be like, "What the hell happened with Sniper? Right? Like this was your guy. You brought him up, and now like you benched him. Like surely something happened." But that's neither here nor there. In general, I think he's quite good. If I could get Demonte, I would pick him up too. Apparently, everywhere he goes, everything he touches just turns into gold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, do you have any last things, or should I move to Lion?
We can go to Lion.
I don't know how to feel about this team. Just for context, whenever they tweet at like I understand Spanish, written Spanish a lot more than spoken Spanish, but in general, I speak Portuguese. They're relatively similar.
Yeah.
I don't really follow much of what Lion like socials. Like I see them sometimes tweeting things. Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes it's cool. I don't know how involved or um how much of a pull they have with the Latin American, South American audience. I don't know, so I'm not really gonna judge from that aspect. From their team aspect, I do think it was unfortunate what happened to them. I honestly think it's more of a format issue for them. Like they just got unlucky because we have a crappy format. Like I feel bad for them, not just because they like could have been better than they were, or they could have like just faced a better team or something like a weaker team, like they deserved a better shot. I just think like the format really isn't rewarding anyone. Like no one's really getting rewarded. If you're FlyQuest, do you really want to play Team Liquid? Not really. You probably like I guess with the double elim because we're only 6 teams and not 8. It's just so weird. I don't think anyone's happy about the format. People don't even know how it's working even to today. I think finally now we kind of understand how it works. But like I'm gonna say this again: when Shopify beat Cloud9, they're like, "We're going to Texas." Like, no, you're not. Even if you win the next matchup, like it's just
Yeah.
yeah. Even I think only if you win the next matchup you make it to Texas, but if you lose, you don't. So it's like I no, you could because you could lose and then end up second. Yeah, even if you win this next matchup, you might not make it Texas. You have to win two more best of fives. So it's like it's such a confusing format.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like they just kind of got format gapped. Honestly, they got the rough end of the stick, the loose end of the stick, and I think this team definitely could have been greater. I also think we had such a few amount of games. Like I was looking at how many games LPL was playing. Obviously, they have more than double the amount of teams that we have. But like they just play way more games, and we play so little. We play so little, and our format is just very very. It sucks. I'll just say that much. I would much rather see like I don't know how you can get more games in. But even if it's the same amount of games, just can we at least get some better format where honestly even Swiss would have been better. I know you can
I
have
agree.
like unlucky yeah, you can have unlucky streaks. You can be G2, right? Where you go 2-0 and then go 0-3. But like at least with that,
You would have guaranteed
you can
C1
look
versus FlyQuest for like that, like the actual 1 versus 2 seed at that time. You would have
I don't know. We
guaranteed.
were 3-0 as well. I'm just saying. It could have been Cloud9 and Shopify again, and history would repeat itself.
Yeah, because you would have had.
Um,
Yeah, I was thinking about it. But in that format, you wouldn't have had
yeah, it
three
would be 2-0.
2-0-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have to be the
No.
2-0-2-0 Yeah.
To play
But
devil's
either way,
advocate very quickly on the the format thing, I agree for like the seeding, but then for Lion, they were facing the perceived actual eighth best team in the league. Like I know 100 Thieves players on quality, on paper, sorry, is a lot better than what they were performing. They were performing terribly, and it sounded like this team was absolutely imploding. And there was most people were predicting Lion 3-0. Like, only David was predicting
I
100
was
Thieves
as
to win
well.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I predicted 3-0 for them. I'm pretty sure I did. Um, so like in that regards, like I can't be too upset because they were facing the perceived best, the worst team in the league, and then they
Yeah,
ended
but
up
why
not
didn't they
being.
get to pick? Like they were clearly the best. Like if you look at strength of schedule, they were the best team out of the bottom teams, and yet DSG was the one that got to pick.
Well, and then in the end, like, well, we dropped, so it doesn't matter. We're never not picking like again in in that lower bracket. So yeah,
Yeah, but I just feel like obviously losing every single one of your games, or I guess they didn't lose every single one. They beat Team Liquid, but I just feel like if you beat Team Liquid and Team Liquid finishes fourth and you finish sixth, like what?
yeah, it was a bit rough.
You know, like that just feels wrong. And then you end up having to play 100 Thieves because DSG, who also has the same number of wins as you, ends up ahead of you because they went. I guess they. Yeah, it just feels really crappy.
Yeah.
Um, so I just feel bad for them. Especially Audi. I think Audi like really was playing his heart out, and it always sucks to see these players that like play their heart out and then just kind of crumble.
I think like I think that like one of the more annoying things is like you wanted to prove that the LA was not like you can't just plonk an LA champion into North America and then expect them to still be competing for the top. But the thing is, they half never really got to show that this year, like because of like there's so many problems they had with this team.
Yeah, and like you said, I think they're gonna improve. Like obviously they didn't know, like you're a new organization, so you don't know how early you have to apply for visas. You don't know how the process goes, and so like clearly they made mistakes when it comes to that stuff. Um, and like eventually they'll learn, right? Hopefully, coming into next year, they're like, okay, now we know how to deal with this stuff. Obviously, U.S. has made it a little bit more difficult since January to come into the country and work and stuff. But they'll learn, they'll adapt, and hopefully going into next year, we'll actually have players that can play. That would be nice.
That's why I've always praised my team for like they are on top of like visa applications and how they actually handle this stuff because I've never felt like our teams had any problems like with visa issues ever.
I mean, they started importing in 2015. Like they have figured out how to
Yeah,
do
that's what
it.
I mean. Like they've got that system
They
unlocked.
have a lot of experience. Yeah, they have their systems in place.
Yeah. Well, speaking of systems, should we go to week six? Dude, I hate that it's actually called week six.
I'm just gonna say the second round of our internal playoffs. Even yeah. Um,
We got a super week this week. We got game
we do.
Friday,
I wish
Saturday,
they would have
Sunday.
said something like earlier, not just 1 week beforehand. Which
I
is
didn't
I didn't
realize.
know. Like I
No, I didn't
legitimately didn't
realize it was
know.
a super week.
Yeah.
I actually wouldn't be watching our series like fully live as well because I'll be watching the VCT one.
You guys are Friday, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's actually they're really
Yeah.
bad because we play our Valorant team and League team play at the exact same time. If we were playing against an actual half decent team, like if we were playing like you guys, I would be watching like on the main screen, but because like just a very quick short comment, our Valorant team is literally doing like an NRG run from like 2023. Like we've literally got like a team of misfits plus two cracked young kids, and like we've choked every single playoffs like for the like past 2 3 years. Like we will do good regular season because no one expects us to. We perform well against these top teams with some like chaotic style, and then choking playoffs. We were like 1-8 since franchising started in playoffs. But this
Oh
playoffs we
wow.
but this playoffs we've actually started beating all the teams, and like we're now one series away from qualifying for Worlds.
Okay, so that's the Friday series.
That's Friday series, yeah. When we
Okay. Who are you guys
play
playing against?
NRG,
Oh, literally the NRG run versus
which is
NRG.
ironic, which is ironic, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so Friday series, we have Cloud9 versus DSG. I was happy for DSG that they got their win. I know we didn't technically talk about DSG because I really wanted to just be very, very clear about Dignitas and their like managerial failure.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I'm glad that DSG, like Rahel is legit. He's really good. Darkwings is playing really well. Like he's not top tier class, but like for a rookie, he's fulfilling his role and he's getting better every week. And yeah, I'm just happy to see that team like succeed. Especially for Castle. I have an interview that's coming out tomorrow with Castle actually, and he's just like he's like, man, I was waiting for this for so long, like a year on IMT, we don't get any wins, so a year on DSG. I was like, finally, I win a game. The faithful have been rewarded, yeah. So I'm just happy for them overall. But they're
That's where the gravy
going
train
up against
ends.
Cloud9. Yeah, you kind of even if they were going up against Shopify, I'd still say Shopify is going to like kind of destroy them. It's it. If anyone predicts DSG, I would say either you have some sort of information that the like Cloud9 completely mental booming, or you have mental boomed and you don't like you just drank a little too much. And by a little, I mean like three
Or you're a
bottles of vodka
hater.
too much.
Or you're a hater like David
Even if you're
posting
a
on
hater,
Twitter.
even if you're
Even
a
when
hater.
David
Oh yeah, I
posted on
saw that. I
Twitter
saw
that
that.
Cloud9 are losing on Friday. Like,
I
okay.
actually thought he
I
was
will
confusing
I
Cloud9 and Team
yep.
Liquid. I actually thought he was confusing them.
I will put this on camera. If C9 loses to DSG, David can take my spot on this show for like for next week's show. I will sit out if we lose to
And we could just
DSG.
completely trash
Yeah,
C9.
we can call it the roast of Cloud9.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Roast of Cloud9 report show.
I mean,
uh,
I like I was gonna say no disrespect, but yeah, whatever I'm gonna say here is pretty disrespectful. I think we could go in without our coaches into this series and we'll still win 3-0. Like I think our players could manage this series by themselves, and I think we'd win. It's
yeah,
just
the things I want to see because I do think everyone's going to predict Cloud9 3-0. The things I want to see Sven play better. Again, I legitimately heard no one talking about how poorly Sven played. No one mentioned the fact that he's getting solo killed mid lane, like walking up mid lane dying. No one's mentioning that he's dying in the 2v2. Like, I don't know, maybe because everyone's just looking at Blabber's Jarvan, and that was kind of like the beginning of the end for Cloud9. But like, Sven had a really bad series. I want to see Sven like play well. Vulcan's like great. I don't think anyone else. That's my main takeaway. Is like, can Sven play well?
for me, my focus on this series is don't show anything. Don't don't get hypey. Don't just don't give away too much. Just get through this series unscathed. Don't cause any problems for yourself. Don't give away any like, potential picks. Don't have to force any weird picks. Don't draft weird. Don't get overconfident. Just literally play the most standard stuff, win, get out. Like move on, focus on Team Liquid because that's where it's going. Because spoiler alert, I'm picking Team Liquid to beat 100 Thieves.
I love it. You're still talking about your drafts. Like, make sure you draft well. Make sure you don't show anything. I feel like you
Yeah, like
don't really
draft like
trust.
draw. I mean, like this sounds so like armchair GM and like basic, but if you give yourself like good conditions, you'll win, and that's generally what I feel like with this team. If nothing's going wrong, it's smooth sailing. But I don't think this is the series where like you can start worrying. Oh, what this draft matter at this point? Maybe against TL you'd sweat a little bit because like they're half decent players, but I don't think this is the series you even. I'm not even. That is the only analysis I'm giving this series. Frio, move on.
I mean, when the Cloud9 fan is like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it."
Oh, okay, I've got it
It's
on
like
the.
I don't.
I've got it on
I
the side. I've got it on the side screen. If this was a half decent
okay,
team,
okay.
okay, maybe if we start losing, I will switch monitors. But I
Maybe.
maybe.
I feel you. I feel you. I like. Yeah, I completely understand. Same here. Cloud9 3-0. Um, A little bit more exciting of a matchup is the 100 Thieves versus Team Liquid. I know you already said who you're predicting, so I'll let you go first and kind of finish up that thought.
I think it's where 100 Thieves is, even when they've been terrible, is where they've actually been half decent is the early game. And that's where I want to see Yuji really come into his own, because I think he's been a bit up and down with his early games. Like some have been phenomenal. Like I think in the was it in the first game of the C9 series they played in regular season? Like he looked really good. Um
The one where he had a 3,000 gold lead on Sven. It was the first series.
oh
And
no, Yuji, not Yon.
oh wait, Yuji had a good series against Cloud9.
I thought we had like a really good early game on one of them where like he
I don't
completely
think so. He had one game against us where we completely inted contracts. Core JJ walked into our jungle and completely like messed with contracts for 30 seconds, and Seiyus didn't do anything because he was like, "How do I even respond to this?" And then Yuji kind of had like a good Viego game, but we kind of ran down that series, and then we beat them afterwards.
I think all lies are on APA for this series. I think if APA can contain Quid, I don't see 100 Thieves causing them any problems. It's just a case of can I think 100 Thieves bottom lane deal with it? Because Yon's still been amazing, even with Core not looking amazing.
I think Core isn't as bad as people like put him out to be. I think he's like not playing it as like MVP 2019 level, sure, but I think he's like been pretty good. I just think it's very rare for him to not be the best support in NA, and right now there are two supports that are better than him, so it's like difficult to look at him and say that he's like, yeah, I don't think anyone would say he's number one, right? I think the unanimous consensus is like he's number
Which
three.
supports are they, by the way?
Oh, it's Busio's number one, Vulcan's number two,
Okay,
and then
okay.
Core's number three.
You had to wait there for a second. I thought you were gonna, because we lost to you, any credibility we had went out the fucking window, and you're gonna put Lions there.
No, I was gonna put Lions.
Not Lions, sorry, it's Sayos.
Oh, no. Look, just because we won doesn't mean I'm going to say my players are better than yours.
Dude,
It's a team game.
I've been having to deal with this all week, that we lost one series, and now anything we did the entire year, like being top two the entire year, like good, consistently good players, like apparently Blabber's shit now, like ugh. The amount of
He's only the second best jungler in NA. Like, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
behind literally the best player in the Western region. Like, I don't know.
And was doing pretty, and as always done like pretty good against him. Like, to be honest with you,
Yeah, I mean it's also a team game. But yeah, so like just in general, I think that Team Liquid, if they play like they did against FlyQuest, they beat 100 Thieves 100% of the time.
yeah.
I just don't trust that Team Liquid are going to show up.
I think it could be messy. Like even if I'm
Yeah,
predicting
I
CL,
think 100
it's
Thieves
gonna
are
be
very
super
soft.
messy.
I think 100 Thieves are super soft. You disturb their game plan, you beat them in one team fight. Like, we saw what happened in finals. Like, they're just going to throw. Like, I don't have any faith in this team. I think they can take games, but I'm still going to predict a 3-0.
It depends on where you stand with this team. Like, do you believe just because they beat like a mediocre Lion side, do we think 100 Thieves is back? I
They're okay. They're on the up and up. They were on the down and down for like 3 months. They're on the up and up. Do I think it's enough? No, but also
depends
Team
where,
Liquid
like,
aren't consistent.
that's what
Like
I mean.
they're also
That's
bad.
the only problem I have with this series. Is TL was a half decent team, and not this complete coin flip. This would be like a quick 3-0, but
Yeah, I mean,
the more
maybe I'm putting too much faith in Team Liquid.
maybe that the more I was listening to David's prediction about like 5 games, the more I was believing it. Like as the hours went on, because at first I did
just
have
think
a 3-0 for TL, but the more I thought about it, this series is going to be a complete mess.
I don't think Quid is going to get the same leads that he did. I don't think like the biggest gap I think is going to be River versus Yuji. I think the bot lane will be a gap for Team Liquid's side. I think the mid lane will relatively be even. And I think the top lane will be heavily in Team Liquid's favor.
Mm-hmm.
But then also they have UG. So it's like, do I trust them? I don't know. I'm still going to give it a 3-0 Team Liquid. Like, I just don't want to see, like, maybe this is a bit of bias. Okay, analytically, I can see it going to 5 games. I can see it going to 5 games. Still going to give Team Liquid like 3-2, but just like my own personal bias, like 3-0. Just get this team out of here, please, please. All right. My favorite matchup, the one Sunday's games, the one that everybody's going to be watching. Shopify versus FlyQuest. Now I'm going to repeat something that our coach said. Demonte used to work on FlyQuest, and so he has a very intimate knowledge of how the team plays. Mm-hmm. FlyQuest is not firing on all cylinders. Masu last year was so good, especially by the time he went to Worlds. Like, he was the best AD carry in the West. He was that good. He is not that good right now. Mm-hmm. Same thing for Bwipo. Like, Bwipo is running it down every now. Kind of like what you said. He was like, yeah, sure, Impact beat Bwipo, but like, can't everybody do that? Like, who knows, right? And Inspired obviously is incredible. Quad has had a very quiet split 3. Like, split 2, we were like, okay, who's better? Is it Quid or Quad? Who's number 1? Saint was playing pretty well. Kaney was also playing pretty well. Like, there was like legitimately multiple options of who was the best. Whereas last year, it was Quad. When he started playing, he was the best mid laner. And this split, I don't even know if he's top 3. Mm-hmm. Like, honestly, I think Loki's up there. I would put Saint. Yeah,
the problem with the Shopify series from last week is any conversations you were having around, like, I actually think even game 1, half of game 2, you're sitting there thinking, man, Loki may actually have now just slotted into that best in the league role before completely falling off the rest of the series. Like, I don't blame him. Game 3 with the Yone draft. I don't think. Yeah, that Yone game was hard. Playing that draft, but do I put any stock in you guys or not? Do I get burned? Do I get burned for not putting any stock in you, or do I get burned for putting stock in you?
It's a lot cooler to predict the upset. I'm just gonna say that. But I do think that the places that they have strength are their mid lane. Their jungle and their support. Now, I just think Busio is like a tier above Seus right now. I don't think like Seus is like that much worse. They can never improve, but like Busio has had a drastic improvement. Surprise, surprise, maybe having Mithy on your team is actually good. I don't know. Maybe if you listen to Mithy, your team might play better. Who knows? Cloud9 wouldn't. But anyways, I just had to throw that. I think Busio is like incredible. I do think that our bot lane can definitely hold up. Like, what we saw from them the past 2 weekends, or I guess 3, because last week we didn't play. They've been playing much better. Especially Bevo. He's like actively playing really well, and he's like making an argument for being a top AD carry again. Like, I know Sven had an off series, but even when we played against what's it called? Even when we played during playoffs last split, and when we played against I don't remember who it was, but he had like a monster Lucian game, not against you guys, but like before that, he also had another monster Lucian game. Like, he's just like legitimately playing well. And I think Contracts is like probably one of 2 junglers in North America that can match up to Inspired. If Contracts is on, it's the same thing that Spawn said. He was like, if your players feel well, I actually think FlyQuest can win. FlyQuest can lose. If the Shopify players are feeling well, if they're vibing,
but that's exactly Contracts is on. What happened in our series. We gave you that feeling, and then the series completely flipped. Like, because like you had nothing until that point. Like, it was, we gave you an inch, and then you took 1,000 miles. And like, the question is, will FlyQuest give you that inch? Like, that's the only.
I think they will. The question is, can we take miles? Because FlyQuest is really good at giving inches and then not letting you take more. Like, look at how many times they almost lost a Team Liquid or almost lost the like. Look at how many times. But I will say, FlyQuest, just historically, even in a different roster. I know this doesn't count because the only person that was the same was Bevo and our coach. But we have always played them very, very close. We were actually the first team to beat them when they were undefeated. in 2024. Like, we, for some reason, played FlyQuest very, very close. Even in the 3 games when we got 3-0'd, every single one of those games we could have won. It was all very, very close. So I do think that this is just for some reason, maybe it's our draft, maybe the way Revan drafts versus Inspired teams like just works. For some reason, we always have an edge. And I think FlyQuest are kind of faltering. Like I said, their mid laner is not having the best split. He's having his worst split so far in North America. Their AD carry is also having his worst split. Now, that doesn't mean they're bad. It just means they're not like, S tier right now. If we use LS's, tier system. Or I guess the Z tier would be the highest. Either way, I think they have very, very, very glaring holes. We also have an insider who literally coached for them last year and understands how they play.
Yep.
If we're not going to beat them now, then when? Like, if we don't beat them this split, I don't know when we do. Because I do think even if we lose now and we rematch in the grand finals, like, I just think we have such a good opportunity as a team to beat them. I think you guys have a really good chance to beat them too. I think they're looking mortal. They look like they can, like, look at against Team Liquid, man. Like, I know they won those games, but like, if you have to be Superman every single time,
I think that's why I'm so annoyed we had an off series against you guys, because they are looking beatable. And I think at the moment they're more relying on individual brilliance than like their team aspect. I think this is definitely the worst they've looked since they lost 100 Thieves in Split 1 playoffs. The question is, yes, they may not look as great, because I think they also may be a bit pacing themselves. Which is why I do think this series are going to be stepping up, because you have Worlds on the line, you want to secure that first seed, you want to secure your spot in Texas. So I'm gonna go 3-1 the FlyQuest. I think you guys will take a game. I think you'll be. I think it'll be game 1. Honestly, I think it'll be game 1. But I think they will adjust better than what we could.
I'm also going to go 3-1, but for Shopify. I think that we'll lose a game. We're not always the cleanest. We throw. Otacon is not our friend. But I think we have enough firepower in our carries. I think Palafox can definitely show up. I think Fudge has been playing really well, even when Palafox isn't. Like, he can definitely carry. His Aatrox, his Impressa, his Rumble have all been good. Like, he started playing Rumble. His tanks have also been incredible. I just think we have the firepower. Like, at the beginning of the year, would you say like Fudge, Palafox, and Bvoy are strong enough to win like LCS? You'd say no. But I think they've improved and they've proven that they can.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's just it's a matter of like proving it. And I think we can go all the way. So I'm going to give us 3-1.
I do agree with you where you said if not now, when. I think this is the series for you, because I don't think you'll have that confidence going into a rematch, even if you do get that rematch. But you still have to go for us first, which will be exciting, I think, because I predict us to get back to top 3. I don't think we're done just yet.
I think if you have to rematch us, man, the pressure on you guys would be so high. Like, I fear
it's a
that this
yes,
Cloud9 team is too soft.
We'll get to that when it comes.
Yeah, we'll get to that if it comes to that.
I know when, because we're beating Team Liquid.
Oh, and we're beating FlyQuest, so
We'll see about that.
We'll see about that. All right.
I don't think we have any questions this week.
Yeah, you're right. We don't have any questions. I think it's probably mainly to do with the fact that the top teams didn't play. Like, the top 4 teams all didn't play this week, so probably a little less exciting, even though there was a lot that happened. Maybe not as important fan bases were involved, but
we don't just cover the top teams. We cover all bases of the LTA.
Exactly. But yeah, I think that's all we have for this episode. So I think we have the same predictions for the Cloud9 and 100 Thieves series. It's just the FlyQuest series that we differ, which obviously I'm a Shopify fan. I will say this as a Shopify fan, I have predicted Shopify to lose so many times. so many times I predicted Shopify to lose, and no one like looks at that. Everyone just looks at like when I predict them to win, and like normally when I predict them to win, it's because I have some angle that I can justify besides the fact that I'm a fan. And like I'm glad that you see that there is an angle where you can be like, even Spawn was like, hey, if your players are playing well, I think they can beat Shopify. So like, I maybe I text Revan. How about this? I'll wait till Sunday. I'll message Revan Sunday morning, be like, how are the boys feeling? And if he says they're feeling great, if he says, contracts work on the wrong side of the bed, I'll be like, oh no, FlyQuest 3-0. I never doubted it. But he's like, hey, we're feeling great. Then maybe I stick with my prediction.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Anything else you want to shout out before we head out?
No, I ain't got anything this week.
All right. For the LTA report shoutouts, we will be having, like I said, the TikTok streams. Just follow us in general on TikTok and YouTube. That's where we post most of the stuff, and Twitter. We kind of make announcements and stuff like that. But yeah, YouTube and TikTok are probably our two main platforms. You post shorts, we post our TikToks there as well, and then all the videos kind of come out. Especially if you don't want to watch like the whole thing, or like you have a specific segment. We usually try to like clip out those segments and put them, because we know some people just would rather watch that one specific segment. So thank you to Martin for doing that. And then join the Discord. Again, we're trying to build a community, and also we take like suggestions. We added emojis, I think, because we didn't have any, and
yeah.
we'll try to.
I have to gray out some of the teams now that they're getting eliminated.
Yeah, we have to gray out some of the teams. That's smart. But yeah, we're just trying to have fun as a cool community. Hopefully, as we grow, we can do more cool stuff. And yeah, just looking forward to this next weekend. For myself, I'm going to be streaming in about an hour, a little over an hour on my channel. I have some scrims that I plan on smurfing. But yeah, I've been playing a lot better in solo queue. So that's not sorry. I've been playing a lot worse in solo queue, but I've been playing way better in scrims. So it's like I don't know. Maybe solo queue just makes me worse. But I demoted from Emerald 2 to Plat 4. Like I just like I went like a huge loss streak, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I was like 5 games away from Diamond, and then I'm like, 2 games away from demoting out of Plat 1. So it's not looking good. It's not looking good. But at least my scrims, I'm smurfing. There's that. I got to play Briar yesterday. Yeah, I got to play Briar in scrims, and I carried. So I'm glad.
Hype.
Yeah. All right. Thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you next.